Comes on the B.
Cheers, everybody. We are back for another edition of Bourbon on a Budget. TJ Pittenger, Brendan Sonnone, and Ben Cott coming to you late at night.
Late, baby.
Late night. It's After Dark with
9:22.
After Dark with Bourbon on a Budget. Even with the time change, we couldn't get this right. So,
guys, this is my
time change
my
threw me
bedtime.
off.
No.
The time change is definitely what the issues were tonight. Brendan, Ben, how are you this evening?
Fine. Tired. This is late for me. I usually go.
I'm doing great. This is early, man.
I'm usually in bed, curled up with a book, like at 8 o'clock. So this is.
What kind of book?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm currently reading some of the Game of Thrones. I'm on the second one, Clash of Kings. Yeah.
Spoiler alert: Brand's thing doesn't work. Remember that? Okay, we'll get started.
My brand.
Have you seen the show? Did you watch the series?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
At the very end, they're talking about like who can be the king and who should take over the throne and everything. And Sansa's just like, "Well, Bran can't have children." So, like, you see the memes afterwards where it was just like, whenever you're getting an argument, like, you know, his D doesn't work is a great way to put somebody down.
I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of magic going on that show that you can't make, like, they can't like have ancient age or second world Viagra. I don't know. Seems
ancient age, yeah, that'll just kill them. All right, what do we got on the docket for tonight? This is going to be a quick episode, about like 6 minutes. Let's get this done by 9:30.
All right, we are in round 2 of Buffalo Madness tournament, fellas. I'm excited for this. We went through round 1 last week, and it was all like the playing games, kind of. Let's see. The 8-9
matchups.
There were 8-9 matchup was the marquee matchup. Eagle Rare versus Saz. Baby Zaz won as a 9 seed.
Sazzy.
And gets the honor to play our number 1 seed, the most expensive on the secondary market bottle in our tournament, Weller 12.
All
right. 5 versus 12 matchup was Colonel EH Taylor versus Benchmark. Benchmark is swill. It's awful. It's maybe the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. So EH Taylor won with.
Yeah, it's not second worst thing. Second worst thing.
Ben, what's your last name?
Exactly.
So EH Taylor wins as a 4 seed. It moves on to go against our 4 seed, Weller 107.
Weller.
I hardly know her.
Barely know her.
And then on the other parts of it, which we'll do next week, Weller single barrel, special reserve when against Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is a 10 seed one, and we'll go against Elmer T. Lee. And then Hancock and Ancient Age went up against each other. It was a 6 versus 11, and Hancock won to go and play Blanton's, which is a 3 seed. And those are basically poor man's Blantons against Blantons. So yeah, that's the tournament. So today, Weller 12 versus Saz, and Weller 107 versus Colonel E.H. Taylor.
Have you filled out a bracket yet, Brendan?
No, I haven't. I haven't filled one out in about a year or two. Ben, have you really?
No.
Do you know what's going on? Do you understand what's happening?
There are teams, 64 of them precisely.
Reasonable.
68.
68. What? Is it 68, really?
They've added some, yeah.
Okay, well, 68 teams, and then they play against each other. And then they get down to the Fantastic 32, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Quattro, and then the winner, championship.
And the national championship. Good job.
They don't have like a fun name for the championship game.
It's literally called the national championship.
Boring.
Okay, what do you guys want to do first? I want to do EHT and 107 first. You guys got to pick last week. I'm picking this week.
Why'd you ask us then?
Because I wanted to be able to say that you guys picked last week, and I wanted to pick this week.
All right. So, the specs on E.H. Taylor. It is a bourbon. It is 100 proof. So, let's see. It is $40 MSRP, probably closer to like 60 secondary if you're going to find it. Although, I don't think so. A cool fact about it is that Wayne McGahee, my friend, looks like a young version of Colonel E.H. Taylor. So there's that. Tag him on Twitter, people. Let him know. It is mash bill 1, so it's going to be a higher corn mash bill. And it's going up against Weller Antique 107, which is 107 proof. It's about like $25 to $30 MSRP, but you're not finding it at MSRP. I think it's a little bit more like 30, 35. Probably closer to what, like $100
secondary, yeah.
Yeah, I got mine at like $65, so somewhere in between.
Oof,
it is
money.
It is a wheated mash bill, so that means the wheat is going to be in place of the rye. So there we go. This is going to be, I think, a very interesting. These are our 2 highest proof whiskeys, bourbons in the tournament, and it's a good old 4 versus a 5. So let's get going. What should we do first? Weller 107 is the 4 seed. Maybe start with that on the nose, fellas.
Yeah.
Whew, I just talked a lot.
Yeah, we were all getting sleepy.
Rude.
Cherry.
Ooh, yes, and apple, red fruit.
Yeah.
And watermelon. Is watermelon
Banana.
a green fruit or a red fruit?
It's green.
No.
Apple's a red fruit, and it's not red on the inside, so you used to call it a
It's a
red
melon.
fruit.
Yeah, but the apple
Apples
skin
aren't
is edible.
melons.
The
Apples
apple
aren't
skin is edible, whereas the fruit itself isn't.
melons. You could eat the watermelon skin. It's not good for you, but you could probably eat it. Don't eat the seeds, though. They'll blow
Weller
up and grow in
107.
you, like it happened to Chucky Finster and Rugrats.
Oh, good point.
It's a throwback. Yeah, thank you.
Dude, that was a throwback. I remember that one.
That was a back throw.
I got Ben. Ben was
Yeah,
out on me rambling, and I pulled him right back in with the Rugrats reference. It's nicely
Wow.
done.
Man, the difference on nose is huge. So the Weller
Weller's so
107
much
to
better.
me is like so average. Like it's just cherry, a little bit of ethanol, but the nose on the EH Taylor, man,
Maple syrup, brown
maple
sugar.
syrup pancakes, caramel,
Yeah, so much more
chocolate
depth.
chip pancakes almost. Oh,
Vanilla extract
For
in that
7
bad
less
boy,
proof, too.
and
And
this is
we
night
we
and day
really
better.
liked the Weller 107 nose. I think Ben gave it a 1.5 when we did it individually like a few weeks ago.
Hmm.
Ben's fun fact: we've done multiple or will do
Mhm.
multiple EH Taylor small batch or different EH Taylor variation reviews on this show. You've
Mhm.
never been part of any of them until right now.
Hmm.
You're usually out of town or sick when we do it.
He was part of that Final Four we did. We did this last year with the Final Four, the bottom and bottom.
Oh, the bottom and bond. I totally forgot about that. We've been doing this for a year, huh?
Yes, correct. A little more. Happy 1-year anniversary.
Thank you.
Is it 1 year?
Probably
Dude,
right about
guys,
then.
We did
All right.
it.
So interesting that I think our reviews on the EH Taylor nose was similar to the Weller 107, but now doing a head-to-head, having them in context with each other.
Not even close.
Yeah, I don't think it's even close. I'm with you totally. The EH
I
Taylor
like
nose,
the Weller 107 nose.
I don't
What?
dislike it. It's above average,
You're wrong.
whereas the EH Taylor is really,
So freaking wrong.
really nice and depthy. Do you like it better, TJ, than the EH Taylor?
I like the cherry.
0% you can do that. No way.
I'm with you, Ben. I don't think this is particularly close. The fact he struggled with it makes me think he's got COVID.
He's just doing this for the gram.
For the
Doing it for the vine.
Put on your really cool glasses. Speaking of for the grind, the
specs on.
the grinder. Do it for the
Okay.
grinder.
What about taste?
This is where it gets interesting and gets a lot closer. I don't know about that. Hold on.
I don't think it's that close either.
Yeah, no. EH Taylor, front runner again.
Easily.
Easy peasy,
Let me try the other
caramel
direction. One more
squeezy.
time. Yeah, very caramelly. A little bit of citrus in there too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Some milk chocolate. Yeah, this is.
It's
I-
probably because Ben
kind
likes
of
lower
like-
proof stuff.
I kind of feel like I am not a fan of like EH Taylor just by itself, like generally. But I think that's just in my head now.
You know
This is
why?
pretty-
Because other people like EH Taylor. That's why Ben doesn't like it.
Oh, he's being a
Yeah.
hipster.
I think
Could
it's a
be.
little bit. Because I told him how much I liked it. It was my Thanksgiving pour, all that stuff. Then he came over to my house and tried it later. He's like, "Oh, it was just okay."
Yeah.
I think for TJ and I
way
talked
better.
about this before. Ben, is that like a cost proposition of the EH Taylor line of like accessible stuff? We think that EH Taylor small batch, or I guess TJ likes a single barrel, but the small batch is more consistent, obviously, is probably the best like bang for your buck in terms of quality, price, availability, all factored in. It's my opinion.
I think I'm just more against Weller than I'm like necessarily for
Really?
EH Taylor. Like I just think the Weller line is not that great in general.
It is certainly overhyped, and especially on the
I think
secondary.
so.
No, but like,
Yeah.
what if this 107 was $30? Like, I think
$25.
$30.
Right?
yeah.
No,
then
that's
you're
cool.
talking about something that's
But what's
cool.
it really trade for?
$90, $100.
90, 100.
Jeez, man.
Whereas EH Taylor, you can. I mean, hell, which one of you guys found it at a Walmart recently?
I found EH Taylor at Walmart.
Yeah, $45 there.
This is EH Taylor's by far better.
Okay. So Ben and I
around.
are on the same page. TJ's kind of fighting us a little bit, but it's 2-1, and TJ's opinion really doesn't matter anymore. I think is what
Yeah,
we're
it's fake
realizing.
news here.
On taste, I go E.H. Taylor too. By the way,
Really? Okay.
I did like the
choice.
nose. I don't know. The cherry was just hitting me tonight on the Weller.
Yeah.
I like the finish on the Weller. I think that's where the proof kind of shows up. It gives it a little more oomph, but that's really the only place where it's competitive in my mind.
E.H. Taylor's really, really sweet.
Yeah, that's good.
Really,
All right.
Yeah, it's good.
Ready to move it on then?
Okay. So we talked about, remember in 2018, 2017, I don't remember what the year was, but when Florida State was a 9 seed, they took down the 8, then they took down the 1, which was
About like
Xavier.
2007 or 6 when Florida went.
Why are you bringing that up on this show?
Nobody's listening for that.
I know my sports.
Screw you, Ben.
So with Weller 107 kind of getting trounced right now, I'm a little worried for our 1 seed. Is kind of the point that I was just making, because we all like Baby Saz. And I think we might find out in 2 weeks. I think if you were to put a Saz up against E.H. Taylor, I think Baby Saz would win.
We're about to. I say we're about to find out. We may find out.
We may end up having to do that.
Maybe I had some bias here, but like if I had to pick when we started the tournament, the one that I thought had the best chance to win it all, I would probably put the odds on the E.H. Taylor. Like it's got the proof, it's got sweetness.
EH Taylor's so much better. So much better.
So if I had to put the odds on one before we started, I would have said that Weller 107 had a really good chance to win.
Because the proof.
Because of the proof, because of the MSRP, right? Not easy to find, but none of these are super easy to find, right? Like
I don't know, Ancient Age and Benchmark are readily available.
I was gonna guess Benchmark was gonna be my
I thought the highest seed that had a chance though was Saz. I was worried about it not getting out of the Eagle Rare round.
Yeah.
But I thought Saz had a good chance. So this is the matchup I'm really excited for. Do we sip the Weller 12 first? I assume. I guess we nose them.
I'm going with the Weller 12 first because it's the higher seed. I'll give it it gets the home court advantage, if you will.
The nose on that is nice.
It's refreshing. It's not
poor advantage.
The home plus advantage.
I don't get it.
I thought that was good. I thought that was really solid.
It was okay.
Let's see. On the Weller 12, I'm getting a little bit of maple syrup, but not as much as with the E.H. Taylor.
Okay, I'm going to pull back the 107 real quick and do those against each other.
Oh, are you really? Oh, we're going to really just muck this all up and confuse it, huh?
No, I think I'm good.
I'm going to do this blind with my eyes closed.
This dead space is really good for the podcast. Let's see.
Yeah, it's all right.
The nose, I'm getting like
barely
baking
smell
chocolate.
the Weller stuff. Like the Weller nose is so muted. 107 and 12.
And the Baby Saz is comparatively we're smelling
Beautiful.
12
Oh my
is
goodness.
jumping
It's
out the glass.
So sweet. So the pretty spices on it.
So you guys know Weller 12
It's like
is 90 proof. It's
or
12 years old and it's weeded. I didn't really set it up very well. And then
I can get some of that spearmint wintergreen on that. It's like those spearmint candies. The sweetness is like those little spearmint candies your dad would have in his pocket at church. Your dad didn't do that. Well, my dad did.
Super like stickly sweet, not in a bad way on the nose, but like there's molasses.
There's definitely a
molasses,
artificial
maybe?
sweetness to me.
Maybe that's it. There's
On what? On the Weller?
On the Saz. Like it is that like spearmint candy.
I don't get that but I don't get that as artificial. I feel like that's real sugar.
So, for context, Weller 12 on secondary is about $200, $220.
Don't do this.
Saz you can find at $30 secondary. You can find it. Yeah, you can find it at. I mean, I can go to my Sam's Club right now and get it for $24. Don't even need a membership.
Yeah.
So I know we're not supposed to factor in price of the head-to-head, but
what's our proof here?
We factored it on
90 and 90 for both of them, Ben.
Wow. Which one's higher?
The 90 proof one.
Okay. So
haven't
in my
tasted it
head,
In your head.
In my head.
In my head. Whiskey. Key. I'm sorry, that was too far.
that was way
Anyway.
too far.
I think Saz has nose for me, just because I enjoy that like spice funk,
I agree with you.
mint funk. That's
I'm
fun.
with you, Ben. It's a more unique and more dramatic nose, and I think just more interesting. And the Weller 12 nose isn't good enough with the few notes that it is hitting to make up for the dramaticness. What about you, TJ?
The Saz nose wins for me, without a doubt.
Okay. Wow.
It's just
All right,
inherently better.
So far, 9 seed is chipping in to the 1 seed. Now let's go with taste. Who's tried it? Have you tried them both yet,
Yes.
Ben? Okay.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
So I think, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy the Sazerac. Like there's some citrus there, a little bit of spice at the end, but there's a thinness to the Sazerac that the Weller 12 doesn't have. Like the Weller 12 drinks a little bit more heavy, and I think that's primarily due to time. And so if you want like a fuller body, mouth feel whiskey, I think the Weller
Fuller House.
Weller's
Too
getting
soon. RIP.
Getting a little better for me. And so in my head right now, zombies, but specifically Weller 12 is pulling out in the lead.
I just got a DM that said we got to get you on some gummies. We got to get Brendan on some gummies.
Maybe in a little bit.
Brendan's gummies.
In my gummies.
Okay, so what do you think, Brendan? Because I'm tasting the Weller 12. Okay, before you give me like who you think wins here.
Are you tasting it? That's the whole point of the show. Good for you. What's happening? I need gummies.
What do you think about the take a handful of gummies and chill out, bro.
This show's sponsored by gummies.
What do you think that the
show sponsor?
What do you think about the flavor on the Weller 12? Like, what do you think about the taste of it? Before we start to compare, what do you think? I heard Ben talk about the thickness, which I know he likes some good girth to things, but what?
Don't give me that.
I'm not a massive fan of the way the Weller 12 tastes.
So
Unless maybe you can pull out some notes for me that I'm missing. That's why I kind of want some expert opinion here. You guys have much more refined palates than I do.
True.
Yes.
I'm also on about 16 gummies right now. So
Right.
That's a lot of gummies. So
Continue.
Ben mentioned mouth feel with the Weller 12. And to me, this is weird. The mouth feel and the experience of the feel of it is more impactful than the taste, if that makes sense. Like there's this nice coating of this oaky tannicness, but it's like smooth and a buttery type of sense too.
Mm-hmm.
So really on the palate, like I'm getting wood spice and just like this general woodiness, a little bit of vanilla, and a little bit of maple syrup. It's not like a super complex palate. What it is doing is unfolding in something that feels good. And I don't know how else to describe it other than it feels so good in my mouth.
So I think this is an interesting point, and a point that was brought up by one of our favorite palates in the Tampa MSA, Tommy. He talked about specifically with his tasting and when he's picking bottles, he talked about how it feels hitting his palate.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was very much like it is a tactile sensation.
And he talked about that with Weller specifically too, right?
With
like
Weller,
that was,
Mm-hmm. And so I think that, since my palate is approaching the greatest of Tommy's, then I would experience it very similarly, like the way I was saying. So I stand by my review.
There's almost like a dirty taste to it, like earthy.
Dirty? What? Taste of what?
Like
the Weller 12?
Like earthy. Like it's got this earthiness to it.
I don't
get the earthiness. Okay. There was something what were we drinking the other night, TJ, at your house? That was like it was freaking drinking swamp water. I'll tell you that much.
It was bourbon or beer?
It was Henry McKenna. I got so much dirt out of it.
You got a bad Henry McKenna batch?
I don't know. I think it was very earthy.
Very earthy.
Ben likes earthy and girthy.
I'm just telling you, man. It was like swamp. Earth and girth.
Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, but okay. But I think taste is really important to me. So but I haven't even had the Saz yet. So
Oh, what?
I do see what you're saying with the
Oh,
buttery,
geez.
the woody, the
Bro,
oak. I do get some of that.
Don't give me your review of half of a review. Jeez.
No, I just wanted to talk about the Weller 12.
Drink
It's
the
something we've
sass
never
already. Oh, it's true.
It's something
Okay.
we've never had on this show before. So I wanted to spend a little bit of time on it. We've done
he's
reviews of Saz. We've
making a good point.
had Saz last week. Okay. You guys have
Guys,
had the
I
Saz?
feel like there's this level of tension here that we need to address on the show.
What's the
Do you
tension?
feel it? I feel this tension.
The fact that you guys aren't going to let me move this 9 on, I can already tell.
I got
how
a
this
9
is
that you can
setting
move.
up.
I mean, it is tough
I'm
too because
sorry.
we're going
Like,
with.
I love Sazerac. I
Mhm.
love Sazerac rye. I think there's an edge here. Now, if we factor in price, which I don't think should be here, then
Only if there's a
it's
tie.
like night and day. It's freaking Saz. But
How can we have
we're just talking about juice.
3 people. You know, have you seen people on the groups on the different societies that complain about people saying juice? Like, oh,
No.
don't call it juice. Like, oh, it's that's disrespectful to the bourbon. I'm just like,
Okay, what do you want me to call
Really?
it then?
Who doesn't
do you
like
think
that?
do you think the bourbon's checking Facebook? You know,
Swill.
and sees you calling it juice?
Call it swill.
Good juice. I call it. What? I'll call it a dram sometimes, and that's very pretentious. I feel like that's the other side of it.
Outrageously pretentious.
Thank you.
Very much.
Dram.
I don't know. I need to take one more sip, and I'll tell you.
These
what
are
I'm
so
doing here.
different. We were talking about a
It's
wheated
hard. It's hard to know
bourbon
that
versus
different,
a rye,
Rye.
and that is.
They're so close.
I think that it's weird. I could make the argument for Saz being more interesting and potentially even better at every single level how we normally judge it, right?
Sure.
Nose, taste, finish. But there's something about the Weller 12 that just feels like I enjoy that entire experience better.
Like, I think this may lose to E.H. Taylor.
I think it will too. But I think it's
Well, what's
cleanly.
wild is I think this would have beat E.H. Taylor. I think the Saz would have beat E.H. Taylor. It is wild how Ben is so low on the 107, but high on this, with the proof going down by 17.
I don't even
That's
know
valid.
if it's
I mean, I'm not trying to convince you because I think we all know what's going to happen here, but I do think it's interesting.
But the age factor that Ben mentioned is by far the oldest, other than the Eagle
Oh,
Rare,
it's not
which
even
is 10
close.
years.
Right.
Weller 107 is rumored to be between 6 and 8 years old. So I mean that 4 years is not. I mean, that's
So it's also between 6 and 9, if you think about it. I mean, it just truthfully is.
no, it's not.
That's
Oh
what it
yeah,
is.
actually it is. No, it's
has
not.
to
It's
be.
not 9 years old. It's between 6 and 8.
Yeah, but
Could be 6
if
and
it's
12.
between 6 and 8, it's between 6 and 9.
That's
Like if you
not
pick,
true.
yes, like
be
just
6 and
that's how
15.
things work. If it's between 6 and 8,
The Weller
It's also between
107.
6 and 30.
right?
Yeah,
Yes,
6 and 1,000.
That's the point. That's the
No,
point.
it's not. It's between 6 and 8 years old. How can
Right,
it be
right.
between-
Something is
Okay.
between 6 and 8 years old.
It could
It's
also
between-
equally be between 6 and 1 million.
No,
Because
it's not a
it's
million
between
years
those two.
old. It's between 6 and 8 years old.
Dude.
Are you missing it?
Oh
Hold on,
wait,
hold on.
You
I got
understand
it.
what
All right,
between
we're good.
is?
Right. Between is like it's saying it's a number
There's two
between
posts.
those years.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's 1 point between 2 points.
Yeah,
and if you just
center field is
extend those
between the left
points-
field post and the right field post.
Right.
But
But
right
that's
field
also
is also
between
between the left field post and the right field
basketball
post.
stand. Right, right.
Jeez, Brendan.
Between just means it's a point between 2 other points. So if you extend the further ones out,
You know what? I am
What is a
TJ.
writer,
I
not a
hate your rye.
mathematician?
It sucks ass. Weller 12 moves on.
Hey,
Screw
Ben,
yourself.
I'll give
You played yourself.
The
Ben,
Weller
what do you-
12 is
what do you-
between 1,000 times better and 1,000,000 times better than
1,000 and a million.
Yep.
But you see how that would still be the same as between 1,000 and 1,500.
I guess
Like
you
you
can get
see-
between.
So salty. Yeah, the Weller 12 is pretty. It's pretty good. I don't know. I don't know that. I feel like I want to do.
If it's just
go
on
crazy,
palate,
right?
or it's just on like just the whiskey, not price, I think it's Weller 12. If you have to factor in price, it's a no-brainer rye. But we're just about juice here, which is a derogatory term, I guess.
What do you think of this dram, TJ?
Yeah.
What do you think of the dram?
I get what you're saying on the Weller 12. I don't think it's as enjoyable as the Saz. I like the Saz better, but I understand what you're saying, and I'm
Right.
okay with you guys moving along.
All right, I'm going with benchmark.
I got a bench you can mark. Brendan, Weller 12 for you. Decide the vote here.
I said no. I yelled it a minute ago.
Oh, that didn't count.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Let's
it's
say
12.
things
It's
respectfully here.
It's Weller
It's
12.
really good.
It's a waste.
Well, 12.
All right, so Weller 12 moves on to the Final Four as the 1 seed and will go up against EH Taylor in 2 weeks from now.
I'm
as the
protesting
5
this.
seed. All right, well,
This is
that
on protest.
means
Throw the red flag.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Where's the red flag?
I'm going to the box.
It's the first time you've done that in a while. All right. So
Got him.
next week we'll do blends and Hancock. We'll also do Elmer T. Lee and Buffalo Trace. That was a good one, I feel like.
Jeez, that was pretty solid.
Hey, have you ever
I'll
watched
give you that.
Brendan? Ben and I we've got some time to kill here today because this is a shorter episode anyway. But
Okay.
have you ever watched the Celebrity Jeopardies? Have you seen
Yeah.
those?
Yeah.
Ben and I.
I'll
suck
take
at Trebek.
I'll take Schwartz for 500.
Schwartz.
It's S words. I'll take anal bum cover.
I'll take 8.
We would have selected Bow Wow or Woof. Woof, just the way your mother likes it, Trebek.
That's the way your mother likes it.
But yeah, rest in peace. Ben and I have literally watched several Celebrity Jeopardies together the last several
like
nights.
48 hours.
Between how many?
Between
Probably
6
6 or
and
7 of them. Between 6 and 8. Don't say 6 and
Yeah.
9. That's not the same thing.
Yeah.
You'll upset him. Okay.
I still think you guys are wrong on how you're describing the age because there's a cap to it.
What's the cap?
Well,
Your
for
cap.
Weller 107, it's 8 years.
Yeah, I understand the point that Brendan's making. He's saying that when they say between 6 and 8, they're not actually saying a point on that line. They're saying it's a blend of 6 to 8 year bourbons, and that's what puts it in.
Like it can't be older than the 8, so it can't like when you say
It
9.
can
that-
be older than the 8.
No, if they're saying it's between if
If they
somebody-
say between 6 and 8, they're saying it's a blend of 6 to 8 year bourbons.
yeah, it can't be more
That's
than
what that means.
Yeah.
But if you're doing anything else, like if you said I'm driving between 20 miles an hour and 30 miles an hour, that could be 24 miles an hour. So
That's
24 miles an hour is between 20 and 40 as well, and 20
Mhm.
and 100, and 20 and 5,000.
That's
So
true.
that's Ben's point, is that just
But not-
extending the big number.
Not with whiskey
It's
though.
still
I'm sorry,
between-
officer. I was going between 10 and 150 miles an hour.
D's.
What
Did you
are,
get the
what
question
are
from
these
Dean?
fine folks?
Yeah, did you get the question from DN?
I am finding some of our questions
I
on
don't see any of
Twitter
our
right
questions.
now. So, first off is Joey Smith at JB
What's up,
Smith713.
Joey?
He asks, "What's
He's
a
my fave.
bourbon that should be a sipping bourbon but just isn't that good, so it's a mixer?" So something that's like
Got it.
Okay, go for it.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it.
guys go
You said you got it.
Wild Turkey 101 rye. It's just not that good, but it is cheap. I would never just sip on Wild Turkey 101 rye.
But is
it's
it
not
supposed to
terrible.
be a sipping whiskey? Like I feel like that it's a $20-something bottle. Like you're not expecting it to be a sipping whiskey at that price.
Well, we bought
So
it.
the question is,
thinking it would
what's
be a
supposed to be a
sipping
sipping whiskey that you have
Yes.
to mix?
that is
the
not be good enough to mix. Yeah.
yeah. The first two Old Foresters, like 1910 and 1920, are great, but the other two are just okay.
Oh yeah,
The
I would
Ballin' and
agree.
Bond and the 1897, you're buying those at a little bit higher price, but I think you can just end up mixing those. The 1897 is just young.
I would agree.
snowproof.
Those
I
are
don't,
like
I don't love
expensive
that one. Or
bottles for
1870. The Bottle and Bond's a
sucky.
little
I
better.
think you could drink those though, and like I don't think you have to like. I
I
don't
don't
think
that's
you-
a very specific question. Like, I don't know. Oh, Four Roses Small Batch.
Oh,
I'm
that
not
sucks.
sipping on that. I'm
Jeez.
Yeah,
mixing
that's
that.
a good one. That's a $30 one that is not. I think once you get to $30,
$35.
you should anticipate it being able to like hold up with
Yeah.
ice, right?
But you look at the difference between something like that and then like an American Prairie by High West. Yeah, I could sip on American Prairie by High West, even the unfinished ones, all day long.
mhm.
And that Four Roses Small Batch. So
Mm, I'm trying to
Thanks,
think of
Jimmy,
good
for that
question.
question.
Joey.
good question.
That was Joey.
On to the next.
All right, Dr. Seminole 5, maybe Jason.
Also Jason.
No.
D's Seminole.
What is a good substitute for THH or GTS, Short C Stag? What's THH? Oh, Thomas H. Handy. He said, don't say
Substitute
knob.
for a handy. Oh, never
Oh,
mind.
boy. No, enough of the jokes with you today. Just stop. Don't
6 and
say
8
Knob
jokes.
Creek. Oh my god.
6 to 8 jokes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead, have 6 to 8 jokes.
You know what was fun? Oh my god. I was going to say
That was a good
earlier
one.
that our timing has been getting very good, where someone will stop, jump in, and the other person keeps going, and that just all got derailed.
I was gonna use like a 16 and 18 joke, but it just came out wrong. But you know,
Okay, give me
even that probably wouldn't have been.
Well,
Give
18's good. 18, tween.
Give me the question.
Doctor, no. Do the doctor.
Dude, it's too much. What is a good substitute for Thomas H. Handy or George T. Stagg? Don't say Knob Creek, Cast Strength, and Stagg Jr. And
Literally anything. If you flip those bourbons on the secondary market
and
you drink anything with $1,000 in your hand, it's going to taste better than
cask.
those.
Because there was, I think it's kind of like fallen out of vogue a little bit. There was a time where people were like, Knob Creek store pick, Knob Creek cask. I don't know what happened to Ben, where they were like, that's the superior bottle of like value. And I think that's kind of been exposed a little bit as cast strength has gotten better. Okay, so you got a Handy, Ben.
So I have one. And okay, so I think the answer can go in 2 ways. Is when you're looking for replacements, you would say, do I want to find something that tastes the same as this? Or do I want to find a rye that tastes better than this? And so if I'm going to go a different direction, because this is very butterscotchy to me, I'm not blown away at this. This is like frustratingly, like I don't drink this that often, but when I do drink it, I'm like always let down because I expect like the freaking world of it, right? I would swap it and I would stay in the rye family.
Michter's barrel strength.
Grab a barrel strength.
Dang, that was good.
It is so freaking good. And I have the chin rye. Don't buy that. The barrel strength rye, you need some proof here because the Handy is I think at 129. So it's a big boy. So you need a big boy to go up against it. And so I would probably stay with allocated and go way cheaper and get this. But
yeah, you get that for like $250.
This is like my 3rd bottle of this, and it's freaking amazing. Like, I love.
I go with a Pikesville. We loved that, didn't we?
We did really love it.
Really? We love Pikesville?
TJ and I did.
I don't know. You're not going to find something to replace Handy like that. I mean, just, regular baby Saz, like.
What about like the Seagrass? Like that's a high proof and interesting.
Handy's not finished though.
It's really different when you're finishing.
Yeah. So. I got a suggestion for George T.
High proof ryes are tough.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, George.
For George T. Stagg, if you're saying $300 or less, this is right at $300. He said you can't say that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you can say the Knob Creek store pick cast strength, 120 proof ones.
Yeah.
I was going to say Kentucky Owls cast strength one, which is $300. I have a bottle of that. I don't drink it very often. I got that when I got my contract extension at Knowles 24/7 before as a celebratory bourbon. It's really great. I'm revising mine. Okay.
I'm revising mine. Instead of my
this is this R3Y or whatever you got.
No.
Rye with
how about a 2019 Jack Daniels barrel strength?
That might be like this now. That might be just as hard to find as Handy is though.
Not pricing though. When you find them, they're like $250.
Oh, secondary. Yeah, secondary. Right. No.
Oh, it'll be very hard to find unless you're on the secondary. But on the secondary, it'll be way cheaper than the Thomas H. Handy. And this is incredible. This is incredible. Better. Holy crap! A great bottle.
That's a good call. I like that, Ben. It's a good shout.
George Stagg. I also like doing some of the Bardstown stuff instead of George T. Stagg. Some of that stuff gets pretty high proof.
Yeah,
it's pretty unique.
Yeah, it doesn't quite hold up.
It's not as good as George T. Stagg. I mean,
I think the Kentucky Owl, the $300 one, like their cast strength one, might hold up to George T. Stagg. I sent you guys a sample of that a while ago, and I remember Ben really enjoyed it. I just don't know if he enjoyed it at $300.
I don't enjoy many things at $300, just to be fair.
But like, I got a bottle of
Elijah Craig private barrel strength.
Oh, that's
an
interesting one.
Hitters.
The Elijah Craig, yeah, I like that. I like that's a good call. I think Elijah, because you can find some of those at like the 140 range.
You have to find it.
140 range.
Find your local store that you like their profile and then you get that profile.
That's a good call.
Yeah,
Brendan, have you
Man,
tried
it's
that?
freaking
I
good.
sent you a sample of it. The Elijah
I
Craig.
don't think I've had it yet.
I'm
It's
gonna pour
good.
Tommy's. I'll give you a review.
Ooh, okay.
What's the next question on the docket?
All right. So next question is from Joe K at Joe A
He's a
Con. Oh. How much would you
Also
pay
very
for a
nice.
Van Winkle Special Reserve Lot B? So like you're buying it, you're keeping it in your collection, you're opening it up, you're drinking it. What would you guys pay for that?
$200.
So secondary on that's gonna be what, like 600, 700?
Oh, that might be
Way
up
more than
closer
that.
to 1,000 now. Yeah.
Really?
Eight, 900.
And the MSRP
Yeah.
is closer to what, 99
Yeah.
ish? It's like right at 100.
Yeah. So I'd probably, so like I do think that now
Yeah,
this is
you
with
can
the
cheat on
caveat
this.
of having to keep it and drink it, because I'd pay a lot. I mean, if it says if secondary is 1,000, I mean, I'd pay 800 for it, right? To make the $200 and then go buy something worth $200 with it, right? Like that's kind of my thought on that. But remember when we first started the show, we were like scared to talk about the secondary market, and I was like, I'll just buy it for this and flip it for this. It's just like whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think there would be some value in having. There's value in having some cool bottles in your collection, and I honestly, I don't believe in a lot of the hype of the really big stuff, the antique collection, the Pappy line, the Weller line, stuff like that. And so I don't typically keep those if I get them. Because my kind of thought is, I could trade one of those for 8 other bottles that I'm going to love and that are just not as hyped, but are also really good. Oh, going back, a Four Roses barrel strength would be a great one for George C. Stagg. Okay, back to what we were just talking about, which those are hard to find too, but you can get those pretty easily. But if you offered me right now a lot B, like a 12-year-old Pappy for $200, that's more than I really want to spend, but then I also have a really, really cool, kick-ass bottle in my collection that I can kind of share with people. And I've made more than 200 by flipping stuff. And so, yeah, that's probably where I'd be. Yeah, I mean, 225.
You flip things?
You flipper
all the time. So yeah, $200. If it gets up over 300-400, I just don't know. Between 2 and 3 is kind of my.
This is such an individual question. Like you just have to determine like how much can I pay to have a bottle that's like going to be Grail bottle, and that's not even like a Grail bottle for me. That's just like a really sought after bottle. So I probably wouldn't spend a ton of money just to have it and drink that. Like there's other stuff that's like just as good that I would enjoy drinking that I can.
So what's your price though? Everybody's got a price. What's your price on that?
Yeah, I guess
$250.
$250. You just to have a Pappy and be like whatever, but
I'm not actively seeking that out. That I walk into a store and the store is like, yeah, it's $200, but I have to open
here. Bottle, but you have to open it right here. I'd be like,
hey, Brendan and I were talking about this before you give your answer. We were talking about this with store owners that are trying to avoid people flipping something on the secondary market. And what do you think about walking into a store and the store owner tells you, okay, I got this Pappy here, 12-year lot B, let's go with that. It's $200 if you open it here. But if you want to leave with it sealed, it's $500.
Yeah.
Or whatever the number is, right?
I mean,
I actually like that idea some.
I do like it.
Offered one time in the vault, I picked up George T. Stagg and I brought a sample back to the ABC manager, Patrick, who's really nice, just because when I asked for a bottle of one of the Maker's Mark limited releases a few months ago, the guy had it behind the counter and I offered him, like, do you want a pour of it like right now? So yeah, I don't have an issue. Like, I think that makes sense. I think that should be a practice that, like, because that guy is also that specific shop's also skeptical of people flipping stuff too. And I wanted to make sure like he knew I wasn't, like, I'm in it because I really wanted that Maker's Mark. He's like, no, I don't even drink bourbon. So he didn't have it, but yeah, they just offering it. So yeah, I if owners are really worried about that, then yeah, that's the way you can go about it. Is like, I will, if you open this right now and give a pour to me or give a pour to one of my associates, then yeah, we could cut the price in half.
Not even pour it. I'm just saying make it so you can't flip it. Because once it's open, then it's
loses
done, right?
100% of its value. Yeah.
And so to me, it's like if you want to like hold bottles back and sell it for MSRP or slightly above open, that's cool. I like the idea of like then you're guarding against resellers. And if you take it closed, then it's triple that price. I like that approach.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I came up with it.
I came up with that.
Mouthful.
This Elijah Craig is amazing. Great. Jump Tommy.
That is a great pick. I'm jealous that Ben has that one.
Yeah.
What was the question that was asked? What would you pay, Britton, for a lot B?
I think you guys are underselling it. Like if you saw it at $200, like you would sprint to it. Like I think that's a
Open
really
at $200.
Okay,
There ain't no
200.
selling it.
It's a different.
I would buy if I knew it was. I mean, I think I would spend $400 on it and not think twice if I saw that. To have
To
it'd be like
drink that.
I have Pappy in my collection and I can pour it out for special occasions and know like it's something I'll have once or twice a year. Like and share it with friends. Yeah, I think I would spend $400 on that. I think once we get to 500. That's a lot of money, but for something really special that you're going to drink occasionally, and there's a story behind it or some extra value, I think I would double what you guys are saying and probably still feel okay about it.
I say 200, but then it's like when it's really presented to you and it's really like right in front of your face.
That's what I'm saying. If it's right there, like you would,
you're going to probably start to justify things in your mind. Like I've got some bottles right now that I could just kind of trade to like make up that difference of 400, right? And like. Could I justify it in my mind? Sure. I mean, but like in that moment, you could probably justify anything in your mind, especially if like you have a relationship with that store owner and they're like, oh, this, that, and the other. So, I mean, I get it. But at the same time, like if you're just asking me off the top of my head, I'm probably going to say like around 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I don't want to admit to spending $400 on something right now to myself. Maybe if I'm in that store and the pressure's on me right now and the spotlights come in and everything else, maybe I will drop 4 bills on it. But right now on this show, sitting in my house, I'm not admitting to that, having that.
We'll do some foreshadowing here. But like lot B is just not on my like hunt list right now about things that
let me just tell you.
Like I recently bought something we'll talk about in purchases at more than $200 that I will be drinking.
At more than 6 times retail. Yeah. Or right around 6 times retail.
MSRP.
What? I got to think of what it is that Ben would have gotten.
Yeah, you'll never guess it.
5 times retail. But whatever.
Something like that. So,
just a little math.
I will say this. The 15-year-old Pappy is one of the best things I've ever had in my life. It was an absolute vanilla bomb, and it was just so good.
It's special. The people who say that Pappy isn't good, like just haven't had the right bottle of Pappy and have Pappy fatigue.
Keep trying them. Just keep drinking them.
Yeah, just keep drinking it. So I will say, like, the 12-year doesn't – the 12-year doesn't excite me like a ton. I'm not like, but I'd probably get up closer to where Brendan was with that 15-year because that really was special. That one, okay, as petty as it is, but if you're going to spend that much money, that one actually says Pappy on it, whereas Lot B does not, right?
True.
Old Rip Van Winkle does not say Pappy on it. And so if you're going to spend that much money, I want it to at least say Pappy. And I like the 15. I've had 10, I've had 15, I had 12. I've had 10, 12, and 15. I thought 15 was the best out of all of them not even close. I thought the 10 and 12 were fine. Like they were good. Mm-hmm. But I'd probably go a little more Brendan-ish on that 15-year-old just for what it's worth.
All right. I got one more on the Twitter from @MarkBradford25. He asked for our thoughts on Glenlivet 18-year-old. So I know that you guys have no
massive
idea.
fan. Yeah, huge fan.
I have 6 bottles by myself.
I'd pay $400 for that.
It just sat at a shop in Georgia, not too far from me, at like $100 for a while. $100 for an 18-year-old Scotch is a pretty good price. I will say there's nothing super dramatic about it, but it's rich and high quality. And I've had it. It's been like 4 or 5 years since my buddy had it. It's a really good whiskey. And if you got it at about $100, you should feel really good about it. Are there any that were on the message board?
I saw somebody ask if you had $30 to spend, what are you buying? What are you spending on right now? No, size is not an option.
What? That's not on my message board.
No, it was a reply to your tweet.
Oh,
$30.
Okay, let me see. I didn't see that. I'm sorry, I didn't shut that person out.
Sorry, Ben Perrin.
Okay, Ben. $30 right now.
I'm probably going to gas bars.
Getting a store pick?
And no, they're store picks. I don't think they can do it. And I'm getting a $28 double rye.
Okay. And if you go there and ask for $28 double rye, say Urban on a Budget sent you and get $5 off.
Or I'm kind of on the hunt right now because it is becoming so much harder to find. I might go get an Old Forester 100. So
That's what I would think.
The bourbon or
$22.
the
rye,
bourbon's
the rye.
the rye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
that's
do
becoming
a
harder
100
because
rye.
that juice is going in barrel strength ryes that they're trying to
You
make.
mean the dram is going in barrel strength rye?
Yeah, don't say juice.
How many years is it between?
Don't say the J word.
Inappropriate.
J Rod 31. Oh, he didn't ask a question. He just says we need to get Ben on the message board, start getting him into sports. Not a question. I know.
That'd be cool
Thanks,
to have Ben on
J-Rod.
the message.
You're my
board.
Ben really broke down the
Sports.
March Madness
He
perfectly.
did a good job with that, I thought.
Big Drip
I do
Noel
like him.
asks, why should everyone try Thomas H. Handy? Ben, you were just kind
I
of
don't know if you should, man. I don't know if you should. It's tough. So TJ is pursuing trying all of the BTEC line right now. And so if you need to do it to do that, but they're going to charge you like $45 for a pour. And man, it's good. I mean, it's good. You can be wrong, but it's just, I would be upset spending $45 and getting it. Like, it's just so not, it's just I would not start the BTEC line at Thomas H. Handy. I'd get there at the end, like, oh, I'll throw that in the middle or something like that. But don't start there. Start with George.
That was
T.
our
Stagg.
first. That was what we started with.
I know. Just start with George T. Stagg. That's great.
I don't think you need to try it again unless Ben. You can find a reasonable pour. That'd be one thing. There's a place in Orlando. I don't want to put them
30s.
I don't want to put them on blast, but there's a place in Orlando that does pretty reasonable pours of stuff. Hey, Ben, we got to go to Orlando soon because I will go get it with you, but I don't want to say where it is online.
Are we going?
Some place in Orlando that I'm not going to disclose here on the show.
Sweet.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend the money on it. Brendan,
what?
Why should you try Thomas Handy?
I've never had it before, so I don't know. You guys tell me why.
Jeez. Next time you're down, just let me know.
All right. I think that's the only one of the BTAC line that I have not tried because TJ sent up the Sazerac rye, correct? Or did you send up Thomas H. Handy?
Thomas Handy.
Oh, well, then I did have it. I liked it. I thought it was really good. I had it last year's
The fact
draft.
that you didn't remember you had it is the exact reason why.
I get, to be fair, I get the Sazerac and the Handy confused because they're both the ryes. So I guess so. Yeah.
That's why. The fact that you're like, did I have that?
You know what? The Michter's barrel strength rye is superior.
The Jack Daniels will blow it away. Jack Daniels rye. Oh, jeez. What a monster bottle.
Is that it for the questions?
I think
Yeah,
so.
that's it.
Pursuits and purchases, trademark, copyright, patent pending, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing. I have nothing on this one. So it's on Brendan or
No,
Ben.
I have nothing. I haven't purchased anything.
Ben?
Yeah, Ben, go for it.
We're
right,
on you tonight.
So this bottle has been in the works for a while, and it's not an impressive bottle.
I know what it is.
I'm not going to impress your guests.
It's Blanton's with your son's birthday on it. That's what I'm guessing.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
You're like half right, but
okay.
That was right.
I mean, it is right. That's not the point of it, though.
Your conception date, the date you made Sweet Love.
No. Okay. So, in 2020, when all of the Disney resorts,
my favorite year of all time,
shut down, Disney has, I want to say 4 or 5 barrel picks that make their way around the resorts. A Knob Creek, a Blanton's, an Eagle Rare, and they're just parks and resorts, like Disney bottles. Like they're just Disney picks. You can only get them at the bars there.
Oh, they have way more than that at Polite Pig.
Right.
There's probably like 50 of them.
That's cool that Disney has picks, by the way.
But I think the Polite Pig, I think they pick their own. Like the Polite Pig bottles are they say Polite Pig. They don't say Parks and Resorts. Anyway. When they shut down, they had like a couple hundred bottles laying around. And so they decided that they were going to start just selling the bottles to liquor stores. The only caveat was that you had to yank off the Parks and Resorts sticker from them. And I would say the vast majority of the liquor stores probably obeyed that. Some did not, though. And so there are a couple bottles floating around Central Florida that are Parks and Resorts, Knob Creek or Blanton's or whatever, Disney bottles. And so I have acquired a...
Wait, how'd you acquire it?
Through some secondary sources. that I requested.
TJ came to the
that
rescue
I requested
again.
that I
Again.
requested
TJ came to the rescue again.
that I
is the
specifically requested
point.
TJ to post it like 8 or 9 times, and he only did it once. Anyway,
Twice actually.
so the first time was pulled down. Anyway, so I now have a Disney
They
Parks
pulled
and
down.
Resorts
TJ
Blanton's
came to the rescue once
with
again.
my son's birthday on it. Coincidentally,
Oh,
I
so-
didn't even pursue that.
You have this?
No,
you have this?
It's about to be delivered.
Oh, okay.
It's about to be delivered.
Just check.
Wait,
it.
so
and it's been
wait,
paid,
so
it's
I
already
was
paid for.
wrong with your son's birthday on it?
No, you're right. It just
Okay.
that wasn't the point of it. It just happened to
It just
be
happened
that it was
to
like
have
the
it.
day after my son was born.
That's really freaking cool too.
Crazy. Anyway, if the topper says O, if the topper's an O, letter, it's gonna be
We're
ridiculous.
breaking it to celebrate it.
Yeah.
Smash
So
it.
anyway, that bottle
Smash
now
it
will
across the
be
kid's head.
if you go
Peter Christina
with
boat.
us. Yeah, if you go with me to Disney, we're staying on site, then that's when we're gonna pour that. We're gonna pour every
My
time.
favorite part of this,
We'll mark it
Brennan?
down. Boom.
you want to hear the best part of this?
No, there's no best part of it.
That seemed like the best part that it was.
I
his
feel like
son
TJ's gonna
doing
reveal
it.
something that I haven't heard about yet.
Ben hates Blanton's. The fact
Oh,
that
yeah.
this is a Blanton's and he
It's
has to
not
drink it
even
every
great.
single time, I'm so excited for. You don't even know
But
how
it's not a
excited.
better bottle to show up to Disney with, though.
What if
Yeah.
it's like a great? They're all single barrels. What if it's a great?
It's
barrel
gonna be.
name?
It's Disney.
Oh,
I mean,
he's
Disney's
gonna
gonna
love
pick a
it.
good
He's gonna
bottle,
say this is
you
the
know?
best Blanton's I've ever tasted. We all know how this is gonna go. The
So,
nose
like-
is a 2.5.
like roughly like $200 to
$300. 300
$300.
bones.
You
Yeah.
know what? That's
That being said, though,
That's
Disney.
outrageous.
you'd rather spend more
or
money on
sorry,
that than you would a Pappy Van Winkle. Just for the
Yeah,
record.
like I said,
Okay.
it's not about the blands at all. It's just about being able to be a baller and go to Disney and have my own Disney bottle of whiskey.
What's wild though is like the guy could have just like made up the store pick and just like put it on there. You'd never know.
True, 100%, and he's doubling his money. Way to go! But I'm gonna believe it all day. I'm gonna believe it. So pretty stoked.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Ben. And shout out to me for making it happen.
Shout out to TJ.
Again.
Shout out to me.
TJ, I would like a Pappy Van Winkle of when
No,
I'm
Lock
going
B.
to
$200.
conceive my future
Mm.
son
Yeah.
Never. And
for
you're having a
$500.
daughter.
Anyway,
Oh.
what?
All right. Do we have anything else? What are we reviewing on Thursday?
Well, since Ben won't be here, I think we should interview. Sorry, wrong podcast. I think we should review
Kenny
Curly
Dillingham.
Sharon Single Barrel. Kenny. But a little bit of a twist on this. This is a single barrel select from David Off Corona
Corona
Cigar.
cigar. They're in
It
Tampa.
is
Yeah.
a unicorn bourbon mash bill number 2. Ben,
Dose.
you get none and you like it. This is a misprint. This is something that isn't supposed to exist. It's a misbarreling. It's supposed to be mash bill 1. It's mash bill 2. You will never find this out ever again. And it's only ours. And
I've had it.
But you will not review it.
it's so good. Thank you,
Sucker.
Tommy.
Shout out Tommy.
I'm not thinking of you
Um,
as a kiss this bottle, though.
Yes, Ben, I did. Okay. Any shout outs before we get out of here? Shout out to Brendan and I,
Shout out to Tommy for this awesome bottle.
and shout out to myself.
I think a shout out to me for being great.
Stop moving the mic. You sound amazing. You don't need to move it.
It looks so much better than the alien penis that Ben used to talk
Doesn't
about.
Shout out to
Ben
me.
sound good the last couple of weeks?
I think so. I think it's pretty much just my voice going through puberty, maturing.
Could be it. It could be it.
That could be it.
All right. Well, we will be back on
Thursday.
Thursday to review.
Happy St.
Maxwell
Patrick's Day.
2 EHT Sailor. Remember last year we did that Irish whiskey on St. Patrick's Day, and then we've never done another Irish whiskey.
I didn't have
literally
any
worked
other
for an
Irish.
company.
That's because it was garbage.
Oh,
No, you loved it. You gave it a really high
Come on.
score.
For TJ Pittenger, Brendan Snow, Ben Cox, follow us on social media and interact with us there. We appreciate it. It's Bourbon on a Budget. Until next time, maybe Saz is the best. Cheers.
He didn't say myself, TJ Pittenger. He screwed up.
I stopped doing that. I grew up.
For myself.